Hi and welcome to the git-python development stream. It's Byron speaking, and now we will have a look at two other hopefully small issues that are mainly related to the documentation. First things first, easy install, preferred install method. Is this really true? Probably not. So let's do this and fix it. It's always good to start with a clean slate. So it's some RST file. I wonder which one. Intro, possibly. Easy install. Yeah. So pip install git-python. I thought I had fixed this at some point, but I think I only did it in the readme.md, but not here. Speaking of which, it's easy done using pip. Let's try not to mess it up even more. Dev center easy install. Oh well. How do we install pip? Pip install. I think there is a get pip script here, and I guess we just link to that page. Install pip. Yeah, that should be it. Install pip. Like so. git-python and pypy. Fair enough. Yeah, the rest should be fine. Yeah, you can also do it like that. I think that works as well. And that is it. Let's check the other. Oh, setup tools is here again. I think that is now named pip here. Yeah. Pip. And once again, pip up here. Yeah, that's the one. Awesome. Oh, async. You have to manually install gitdb and async. That's not entire. Well, is it true? Yes, I think. To use the git source repository in that case. gitdb async is no more. Rest in peace. Oh, definitely rest in peace. Right, that is better. Has now been cleansed. I'm not sure. Initialize all submodules. Okay, here we have it. That's important. And the rest should be fine. Yeah, relatively so. Python knows gitdb git 1.7 on your good. That's true. We kind of tested with 1.7 a lot. 1.8 we're testing 2. 1.9. Yeah, that's kind of in flux. You know, we kind of grow with Python. Grow with Git and hopefully not lose too much of the backwards compatibility. But we don't really test for this, which can be a problem. Maybe Travis is being set up for this at some point, which is possible with a Travis test metrics. That said, yeah, actually I should possibly do this. Set up Travis to use customized Git versions so that I can then test against these. Yeah, I think that is something, especially with the changes in Git 1.7 to 1.8. All right, anyway, let's build this one. Let's see if that makes any sense. Oh, good. Reference 200. All right. Reference Oh, well, I think that, no, sorry, I mean repo base. Repo base. And then which method has separate working tree? Here we go. And this is something it doesn't like. I think it wants to have it like that. Yeah, that's better. Yes, that's pretty much it. Let's have a look at the index. Installing git-python. Pip. Install pip. Well, it's kind of the same, is it? Oh, and easy install might be something I don't want to name anymore. All right. I guess that is it. Rebuild and retry. Oops, not like that. Yeah, that looks good, even though I would actually change this link here from Git, from the Git protocol to HTTPS. Like that, that's much nicer. And also better for firewalls, and usually better if you're sitting within a company firewall. Let's have a look for this. Do I mention it anywhere else? I do in a test, that shall be fine. And yes, all I see here should be fine. Even though restructure text. Oh, async. Async is still there. Yeah, as a return value, I think it's okay. And yeah, let's leave it here. It's okay. It's old, but should do it. Okay, so that is sufficient to fix this one. Fixes 235. Thank you. That was an easy fix, and there were more issues in just this one page than I expected or anticipated, that's for sure. So yeah, let's hope that was it. Oh, and by the way, of course we should save some energy and tell Travis not to do anything. CI skip. There we are. And it's online. Okay, let's keep going. I mean, this is just simple, small fixes here. And it's closed. Let's do the next one right away. Tutorial improvement. Init repo, add file, and commit. So let's do this. Tutorial.rst, okay. Also, I'd like to kind of have a proper look at it. git-python tutorial, initialize a repo object, make a commit, maybe commit objects are that, probably not, just reading commits. Index, the index object. Yeah, I mean most people probably don't really know that the index object is used for that. I mean I do a commit here obviously, but you know I think that people just don't know necessarily how Git works in detail, and maybe they don't even search for this, and then they find all this read-only commit stuff and may not see index commit. Could be. So yeah, adding a file and committing it. Add a file foo, and yeah, let's just do this. Test examples, yeah, the index object. Maybe let's first have a look at where this is fitting in. Examining references, modifying references, understanding objects, the commit. Then there are all these objects here, submodule handling, diffing, switching branches. Add a file and commit. Yeah, let's do this. So here we go. Adding and committing a file. Okay. So I think I should have test for examples or test docs or something. No, I don't. No way. And this is why this usually fails. I think I should have that. I usually have that, but not in this project. All right. Yeah, I guess I will have it now. Because otherwise, you know, if you have tutorials that you can't test, then they will eventually fail, and that's always bad to have. You're basically lying at your audience. This is how it goes, and then they try and it doesn't go like that. The only way to prevent that is to actually have a test case for this and then make sure that these texts stay in sync. When using Doxygen, for instance, it's even possible to cut and paste strings from files, and that's awesome because then you can basically just say, okay, and here you please put the code that you find here enclosed in these markers, for instance. That's how that goes. But things can't do it, unfortunately, so I have to do this manually. But anyway, let's have test docs.py. Oh, really? Why does that not work all the time? Put it right into test. Like so. That should be good enough. Test add file and commit. Okay, and we shall also, oops, with our W repo, we should also have a writable repository here. Maybe just go through it. We initialize and do everything that's needed from git db test lib import with rw directory. There we go. Okay, try that. Director, that will not work. That might work. Okay. Let's do it like that. Like in a tutorial, my everything. All right. Then we shall import git, obviously, and say repo r is git repo init repo dir. Thank you. Now we don't have a commit. We could say that this is always the case. I mean, this kind of error you get if, where is it? You get if you try to read out the commit that or even to follow the head reference, which points to a reference that does not exist. So that's common. Before we can do that, of course, we have to create a new file here. So let's do that. Yeah, well, maybe I just import it from gitdb test lib. Where's touch? Touch is in git repo. Fun. Okay. File name is new file. So we touch our file name, then we add that particular file to the index. Hey. And we commit that. And then, well, we can do all sorts of things, right? It's just a normal repository. Let's run this test to see if that works. Oh. I am in the wrong directory. Test docs. Oh, haha, yes. How can I? OS path join. Let's do it like that. First, we get a repository, then we create a new file, and then we shall run this. Oh, and we should possibly, silly me, put the file into the repository like so. And that does indeed work. Good. How do I do it? Yeah, I just say what we kind of are going to do. All right. Yeah. maybe I use these variables as well here. People can just put that into their shell then and maybe make it work for them. Yeah. I just pretend this is in the current working directory, and then everything else should be just fine. And that's already it. Yeah, I wouldn't want to repeat this here. Let's build and see what that does to us. Voila, adding and committing. Okay, it's a bit too long. Initializing a repository. It's kind of like that. Init, add, commit, that's kind of the first thing you do to get going. Let's do that instead. Better. And it didn't really get my... Oh yeah, this is why I have to do it like that. Of course, how could I forget? There we go, that's better. Good, as long as we keep the test kind of in sync with what we wrote here, this will at least not be totally wrong. Touch. This function just creates an empty file. Let's name it here. All right, the rest should just be all right and understandable. Should I document this even more? Well, possibly, but the methods themselves are documented. So I guess it's kind of duplicating myself here, especially as I say, have a look at the documentation of the individual methods. So what happens if I type in add? I get index file, add. And actually the first one is already the right one. That's it. And what happens if I search for commit? That is not the one, index file. I mean, if people realize that the index is what does all that, I think they can figure that one out too. Let's see. Should be possible. But I'm always happy to add new tutorials here, and I think I should even do tutorial videos for that. It's probably very helpful just to get started and get an understanding of how all this stuff works. Yeah, I think I will do that. Makes sense. Good. Let's prepare commit. Test docs, new file. No, thank you. Didn't I delete that already? Probably I tried and failed. Because usually it asks you if you really want that, and then I don't do anything. Let's run the tests again. I don't want this thing to spam my working tree, but it doesn't. Awesome. I added new code, so Flake probably has something to tell me. Too many lines at the end of file, for instance. Yes, and 23. Yes. I knew it. There we go. And oh no. No. No, I don't want that. Can I abort that somehow? I think an empty message will abort it. Aborting. Oh, thanks. Thank you. I didn't have a real commit yet at all. So this fixes 236. Yeah, like that. And, well, this time I don't want to skip CI because it actually contains new code. And I didn't test that code in Python 3. I don't expect any issue here, but you know, who knows? All right. That should close itself every moment now. Yes, there we go. And that should be it. That's the small things I want to fix now, and I hope I see you in the next session.